Sean is with us again this morning. It's great to see you again, Sean. Good morning. So, what on earth is going on with this grain deal? A lot of the grain from Ukraine, Europe's breadbasket as it's known, goes to Africa, and Putin wants that support, doesn't he?
You'd have thought so, wouldn't you? But there's clearly a lot going on behind the scenes. As we know, by a quick refresher, inevitably, Russia's been pounding away ever since they withdrew from the grain deal, pounding away Odessa, particularly the grain and the port facilities. But the real twist here is that that's only one of the routes for the grain is via the Black Sea. Actually, another route is via the Danube, which is out to the west. Yeah. Literally overnight, so Russia's now targeted Reni, which is a port city. About 15 drones attacked, 7 people injured. And that's literally just on the border of Romania, which is a NATO country. And literally the river provides the border between the two. Now, there's no military significance to this at all. This is a blatant attack on the grain supplies themselves. There's no other reason for doing it. One of the questions is, why doesn't Ukraine simply move this stuff by land? Just by a pick comparison, a moderate-sized grain ship carries enough grain that 1,000 HGV trucks would hold. So it's just not feasible. It has to be done by Red Alert. Now, Russia claims it's ready to sign up to extending the grain deal, and indeed the UN Security Council is putting pressure. Even China is putting pressure on Russia. They're normally an ally. Now, Russia, although it claims to be ready to sign up, what in harsh reality, it's reducing global supplies of grain by attacking Ukraine. That pushes up demand. Prices have gone up by at least 8% already. And as you say, that hurts the most vulnerable in the world. Now, the African nations traditionally have been supportive of President Putin, but many of those house the most poverty-stricken and the starving. It may add a few pennies to a price of bread here, but it's devastating for those communities. What Putin's actually doing is he's weaponising food, which is counter to the Genevan Convention, it's counter to international law, and it's having global implications.
Likelihood of budging on this deal, or lack of?
The trick is we don't really know what's going behind the scenes. Russia is clearly suffering economically at the moment, and therefore grain is important. It's worth remembering July and August are the main times for harvest. So that is when, as you say, Ukraine is the 7th largest producer of grain. It's a significant quantities of grain, and therefore it's billions of pounds worth of trade. None of us actually know what's going on behind the scenes, but this is blatantly not a military target that Russia's going after. Whether it's panic from the Putin regime because he's actually being pushed back on the battlefield, whether he's trying to force the international community's hand to try and draw this conflict to a halt, only Putin can know.
OK, and as far as airstrikes overnight are concerned, more generally?
It's the 6th time this month that Russia's attacked Kyiv. The irony of this is, if you look back to the Blitz in the war, Germany pounding London has actually only hardened their resolve against the war. It didn't actually do anything militarily. So it's very difficult to see what Putin's doing, apart from a sort of an act of retribution or sort of trying to just damage President Zelensky in some way. But in reality, Russia seems to be running short of missiles. It seems to be wasting them, really. And it feels like a man who's drowning, grasping at straws, to be brutally honest. But very tough for the residents of Kyiv. But the air defences there seem to be holding up. The danger is when you shoot a missile down, generally the debris causes a lot of damage on the ground.
And what about the Wagner Group up to the north in Belarus? What are they up to?
Great question. The honest answer is...
You have a great answer.
I wish I did. I think the simple answer is Putin doesn't know who to trust after their sort of coup the other day. So actually get them out of the country, get them into Belarus, getting them away from any threat to Russia is probably his first priority. What they're doing there in the longer term, Russia desperately needs mercenary fighters. They're the only people who've delivered any form of success on the battlefield over the last year when they took Bakhmut. So I think we'll have to wait out. As for Yevgeny Prigozhin, the boss, I wouldn't be going up too many high-rise hotels if I was him.
No, or don't sack the food taster, eh?
No.
For now, thanks very much.